Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. People, listen, all I have to say is that I have tried to get a city representative here, and I failed miserably. There is not a lot of people available in this time of day. And I have failed to get a Chelsea representative at the current moment, to be honest with you. But Igal and Mac here, of course, both of them are absolutely great. There's a big discussion going on around, and we need to speak about this. The transfer window have shut for 6 days. Arsenal have signed no one. They are still in talks with Sesko. Rodrigo have actually confirmed yesterday with an encrypted message that he's staying at Real Madrid. Liverpool have had one of the best windows out there in 10 days with, I think, Cherki, Frimpong, and Wirtz. Apparently, Wirtz is wrapped up for 150 million euros, including add-ons, because people are triggered when I say things like that. 150 million euros. Wirtz is the most expensive midfielder ever in the history of the sport. Wirtz is the most expensive player in the history of the Premier League. Wirtz is Liverpool's most expensive player to ever be bought. And Liverpool signed two players, left back and right back. Manchester City have had a window that everyone is saying it's very good, but it's not on par with Liverpool, of course, because Wirtz is more expensive, he's more established than Cherki. That is what people are saying. So we're here to say a couple of questions. The number one question that I want to, before we go on, there's over 300 people here, guys, and we haven't even started the show yet. I want you guys to hit that like button. We only have 40 likes, so hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're very, very close to 34K, so hit that like button. Are Liverpool going into next season with a must mentality like everyone was telling Arsenal and Man City and all this stuff? If you sign the most expensive player in the history of the Premier League, the most expensive midfielder of all time, adding to renewing the contract of the best player in the Premier League at the current moment, Mohamed Salah, the best defender in the Premier League, and having the best goalkeeper in the league as well, do Liverpool have more pressure than all the other clubs now that they must deliver a Champions League with the Premier League? Also, Arsenal are going in for Sesko. Who's the left wing that Arsenal should sign to actually challenge for the title? Because there's a lot of people are saying that Arsenal are not even going to be challenging Manchester City and Liverpool next season. And Manchester City signing Cherki, signing Reinders, signing Ait Nouri, can they battle Liverpool? That is what I want to talk about. And I'm not just going to say this. This is, before I get Egalit, here you go. The first comment on the show when I put the title is, Mo decided to be Liverpool villain all of a sudden. So Mo is a villain because Liverpool signed the most expensive player in the history of the Prem. And I'm putting in the title that Liverpool must retain the title and win the Champions League. But I am a villain because I'm putting expectations on Liverpool. Imagine if City signed Wirtz and signed 2 fullbacks, and City have spent money on someone after winning the title, though. So
you're not a villain. You're not a villain.
Exactly. Thank you so
There's
much,
an expectation. There's an expectation.
Thank you so much. Like people think because I'm putting pressure on Liverpool, right? I am a villain. So Liverpool, some of Liverpool fans, I'm not saying everyone, some of Liverpool fans want to play the underdog gimmick for the rest of their life. Someone said that we never retained that. How dare you put pressure on us when we never retained the title in the modern era? When you sign the fucking most expensive player, pressure is on already. That's not me. Thank you so much, Mac.
When you win the league with 5 games to go, there's pressure on to do well next season as well.
Like it's crazy how people think about that. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, let's start with this. Igal, Mac, listen, Liverpool have done fantastic in this window, right?
Yeah.
Are Arsenal gonna be in the mix?
I think you're selling us short. I think you.
I am not. I'm asking a question. I'm not selling you short.
No,
I'm asking.
By the way,
I think you're. No. You said something about Rodrigo, which is categorically false. Rodrigo can say as much as he wants about staying. The reality of the situation is he also wants guarantees, which he's not getting. The reports are coming out that that new Argentinian kid is going to be playing a lot of minutes, and where those minutes going to come from? Where is he going to play on the wing? How is he going to get minutes if Rodrigo's supposed to be there, Mbappe's supposed to be there, Vinny's supposed to be there? I think you don't think Arsenal can pull off the Rodrigo deal. I think Arsenal will have just as big as a window as City or Liverpool come the end of the window. Right now, it looks like they're having a better window because they're already getting their signings through the door. But Arsenal, just because we're not first out the gate to go and get these signings done, doesn't mean we're not going to get them all done, and we're not going to look like a dangerous team come the end of the window ourselves.
The thing about this window as well, which people are overlooking, is this isn't really our window. This is just the window for the Club World Cup teams. It's just we're allowed to buy players in it. So everybody's kind of thinking we need to get all our business done right now. No, we don't. We don't need to get our business done right now. We've already planned our business to be done in the timescales which are around the transfer window, which is the next one. This only came up like a couple of months ago that this window was actually available for everybody, because a lot of teams kicked off about it, saying, well, why is it only available for people in Club World Cup? So they opened it for everyone. So I think everyone are reading into it a bit much. And as much as I don't want to say it, like, Arsenal will be there or thereabouts, because Arsenal have an unbelievable defence and they very rarely concede many goals. So they are still going to be in the race, like, because they just don't concede that many goals. Whether they score enough is another conversation to have later on in the season. And also Rodrigo could definitely leave. Like, we're not even talking about Arda Turan, who came into the team towards the end of the season and looked really good. So he's probably going to get a shout
Arda
as well.
Goulet,
yeah, sorry, Goulet. Turan, he's a bit old, isn't he? Arda Goulet. He was a good player, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I think the main thing is people expect everyone who hasn't made a big signing yet, they're like, oh, you know what? Man City and Liverpool are currently beating Arsenal to the business that they need to get done. I don't disagree with that. Man City and Liverpool are working fast, but Man City kind of have to. Chelsea kind of have to, because they want to get their teams as ready to go for the Club World Cup. There's a massive incentive on Chelsea to get their business done before the Club World Cup, which they failed to do, by the way. Man City, they've wanted to get a lot of business done. They've gotten pretty much everything they need to get done except for one more fullback. Liverpool, they just lost one of their best creators in Trent. They're going to have to go and find a way to replace him. And Florian Wirtz is a good way to replace that creativity. And Frimpong is also a good way to replace Trent's position being out the door. And I do think to kind of calm the fan base down, they kind of had to have the Frimpong deal ready to go the moment that Real Madrid announced their deal, just to kind of even things up and calm everybody down. Because it's like, yeah, Trent's left, but be excited. We have a new fullback ready to go. So there's a major reason why these guys have moved so quickly in the window, similar to Manchester United. Manchester United finished 15th or wherever. They need to move quick, or else these players might get their heads turned from other clubs, especially later in the window when some of these guys are panicking and trying to get players in through the door. I think Arsenal right now, we know what we want. I don't think there's as many people actually going in for some of the players that we are interested in. The only player that I think will have a lot of people interested in him is Rodrigo. But even then, would Rodrigo go to Man City over Arsenal? Would Rodrigo currently Arsenal would probably be willing to spend more than Liverpool on Rodrigo, since they've just spent so much money on Florian Wirtz. I don't know if they're going to spend that kind of money again on another player of that caliber. And overall, I'm very excited still about my potential transfer window. It's only 10 days in.
Sesko, who else is going to say? If Rodrigo, as my man here, thank you so much, Donny, for the super chat. He's saying Rodrigo said he's staying.
He's not going to say.
When did Rodrigo say that?
He literally said, I'm happy. He literally just said, I'm happy staying.
No, he's not going to turn around and say to Xabi Alonso, like, who's literally just rocked up as the manager, I'm off. Like, of course he's going to say.
Of course you're going to say that. Bro, I've had players get bro, RVP got the captaincy before he left. Like, Cesc Fabregas got the captaincy before he left. Some of your best players at Inter, you've seen them say this, they're gonna stay, and then they left. Same as Liverpool. Trent, he's like, I'm happy at Liverpool. Next thing you know, mid-season, he's announcing that he's going to Real Madrid. These things, they say what they have to say while they're there in the shirt. They're not going to disrespect the club that they've been working at for years. Rodrigo, literally, all he knows is Real Madrid and that club in Brazil. Overall, I think he's gonna look at the situation. He's gonna say to himself, you know what? I'm gonna have a good opportunity to further my game, play in my preferred position, and kick on. This is an Alexis Sanchez situation 2.0. And I do think he's going to say whatever he has to say to maybe keep the manager on side. But when the Club World Cup comes and he's not getting many minutes, and you have Arda Güler and this Argentinian kid that they just signed getting more minutes than him, he's going to be saying, I'm off. The moment that the window opens up again, he's going to be off. And I do think Real Madrid are open to the possibility of him being sold for a reasonable amount. 80 million is reasonable in the market, in today's market, and that's what they're looking at.
I do feel a bit sorry for Rodrigo, though, by the way. Like, he had a really, really good season, not last season, the season before. And he kind of thought, okay, I've put my authority in now. Like, they know that I can deliver for the whole season. And then he just got dropped, like, for no apparent reason whatsoever.
In the Classical also.
Sorry for him.
In a Classical also, getting dropped. Who did they even play in front of him in that game? Like, I can't even remember. They were just, it was a poor end to the season for him. And even what do you call it? Carlo was dropping him in games. Was that from the club? Or was that?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I want to, before we go on to talk about like the art, it's never a given who wins the league. No one have ever said this. You equip yourself as best you can and try to win trophies. It don't matter if you have expensive players, right? It doesn't matter. 100%, Leon. Also, pressure comes with prices when you spend money, because we cannot just be putting pressure on other clubs. When we put pressure on Arsenal when they spend money on Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, when we put pressure on City when they spend a lot of money, we need to put pressure on all the clubs. That is our job. You know what I mean?
No. Is there more pressure? Is there more pressure on Liverpool than Man City? Yes. Is there more pressure on Liverpool than Arsenal? I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
It's probably similar.
I'm not
Arsenal
sure.
have got to
be honest with you. Can I tell you guys honestly with this? But let me do these super chats, and I'm going to tell you honestly what I think. Right? Stop these lies. He just said happy. He literally just said he's happy. Like, he's happy. What does that mean? He's happy at Real Madrid. I hope the Arsenal get Rodrigo. I don't fucking watch La Liga. I want Arsenal to get Rodrigo. I want to open TV and see Arsenal with Rodrigo, however the striker is, and Saka, Liverpool with Wirtz. So I want Liverpool to get a striker. I want the best players in the world to join the Premier League, because I watch the Premier League. I want that. I am buzzing, Mo. We can sell to buy Isak like that. Oh, people would Isak talk again. Guys, get Isak out of your head at the current moment. It is not happening.
Just celebrate Wirtz for now. Just celebrate
It is not
please.
happening. It is not happening now. Don't think about it, Andrew. Just wait until Darwin Núñez is sold. Igal, the question on Arsenal is valid. Both City and Liverpool have got their transfers, even United. When it comes Rodrigo, if Liverpool sell Diaz and Núñez, they will have the money for him, and even City will. You believe that they can snatch him from you? That's why I wanted Arsenal to do the business early.
Man City can't take him from us. Where is he going to play? Where is he going to play?
Left wing.
Yeah, they have so many left wing options.
Right wing.
He's not going to play. He's not going to go to
on the bench.
He's not going to go to a club to be sitting on the bench. Man City
He's not going to sit on the bench.
Man City makes no sense for him.
If they sell Doku, they basically short on wingers.
Okay, if they sell Doku, that's a different conversation. I think Arsenal right now are probably the most open team to go and just sign him, put him straight into the team. Where Liverpool, they would need to sell to buy, as you guys said, and they need to sell one of Diaz or Núñez or both to do that.
Yeah.
City would need to make room for him also. And I don't think City are going to now go and sign Cherki and all these guys, have Phil Foden still there, and then decide to say, you know what, Phil Foden, you're finished. And we're going to put you on the bench and we're going to go sign Rodrigo.
Can I tell you something for real? And I want to, I'm going to ask this question. Guys, I need someone to remember this question. If Rodrigo stays at Real Madrid, what is Arsenal's plan B? We'll talk about it. But that is... Everyone at Arsenal are assuming that even if they sign Sesko, they're going to go and get Rodrigo. What if Rodrigo's not available? We'll talk about that.
Can I ask?
Arsenal fans, let me just do this, Glenn. Are Arsenal fans just delusional about everything? Why?
I'm pretty sure every fan base has people who talk crazy shit. So
like why? Donny, why they are delusional? Again, it's these accusations of people without even premeditated accusations, without even listening to what people say. It's ridiculous. Liverpool, most decorated team, always pressure to win trophies. That has never been different. Who's the pressure of?
That's bullshit. Okay. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You didn't always have pressure to win trophies. Pre-Klopp, you guys had no pressure. No one expected you to win.
I mean, even with Klopp for the first couple of years, no one really expected us to win either.
Can I tell you why the pressure is more on? I believe. Okay, when it comes to managers, the pressure is going to be most on Mikel Arteta as a manager, individual manager. Unless Arsenal sign Rodrigo and Sesko and Zubamendi is coming. The pressure on Liverpool signing, and I'm going to just repeat this again because people really don't want to hear this, but that is the reality. As a football club, normally the people that spend the most have more pressure than the others. Imagine if someone went and signed, I'm just going to give you something. Imagine if there is a club that back in the days went and signed R9, even if they won the league. Wouldn't the pressure be on them the most? Regardless of the situation. On Arteta's, the pressure on Arteta is ridiculous. From his own fans, from the media, from the pundits. But when you sign a 150 million euros player or 126 million pound player, automatically, as a team, and also you have Salah, and you renew Van Dijk, and you keep Alisson, automatically, the pressure is on you as a club. Not as a manager, the pressure is not on Arne Slot, but on the club. The club has the most pressure. That is my opinion about this situation. On Arteta, I agree with you, Galen. He might have the most pressure of all the managers because he hasn't won. But as a club, we must admit that when you sign the most expensive player in the history of the Premier League, pressure comes with him. He has to perform. That is just a given.
No. But the pressure is not on Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion. It's not on Arne Slot. It's on Florian Wirtz to come in here and hit the ground running. Because if he has one bad game from the beginning, the amount of stick he's going to get, he's going to have to come into the league and within his first like 3 games have like at least one game that's like eye-opening and showing people why he's worth the money that he's worth. Because if he has a slow start, similar to how Gundogan did, where he had the whole first year where he was just poor, and then the second year he kicked on, people are not going to wait to write their judgment on the player, especially when he's the most expensive signing of all time.
People didn't wait for Haaland, or Núñez. Nobody waited.
I was going to bring up Núñez as a comparison. Like, you can tell that, like, the pressure got to him as being Nunes as being the most expensive Liverpool striker signed. So
I think that's a bad example.
And he was compared to Haaland as well. He shouldn't have been compared to Haaland, but he was.
By the way, there is news in the last 30 minutes.
A bad example.
Nunes is going to leave, by the way. He's on sale.
Yeah. I think Nunes is a bad example because he was underperforming from the beginning, where we never seen
any
a good
season before we signed him.
We never seen any glimpses. We never seen any glimpses of him doing well at Liverpool. Do you think I think there's examples of players more examples at Man City where players have come in on big price tags. Jack Grealish, he's underperformed and he's now finished. Where Gundogan, he didn't come in for a big price tag, but he came in and was poor his first season and kicked on. If I see anything from Florian Wirtz, I could see a slow start because it is difficult changing leagues. But regardless, you guys are going to have to change how you play to make him more of a focal point creatively and allow him to get onto the ball a lot more. And it's
does anybody think that he comes in and he's the best player in the league right away?
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
What like a lot of people, yesterday, I was speaking to Ashraf, and Ashraf, all of us know, like we all do work. And he said that he watches the Bundesliga and he says automatically he comes to be the best 10 in the league.
Yeah.
Salah is there, so he's not going to be the best player in the league.
I don't think he's the best player in his team, let alone his league.
Oh no, he comes in and he tears the place to pieces. I'm telling you.
There's no way he's better than Salah for that Liverpool team next season.
We'll see.
What do you mean?
I'm hoping.
No. But
I'm really hoping he takes.
To say he's the best player, to say he's going to be one of the best players in the league, fair. If you want to say he could be amongst the best, but to say the best is wild in my opinion. You have Mo Salah, who's still going to be one of the highest creators in the team, who's still going to be one of the most the highest goal scorers. He could be a good player. But to say he's going to be the best in the league.
No, he's best in his position. Best in his position.
Even in his own position, I still think there's a lot of 10s in the league that are up there.
Name them. Name them.
You have Bruno Fernandes, you have Odegaard, you have Cherki who's just signed. There's many other players.
There's Cole Palmer. We had this discussion yesterday.
Cole Palmer also.
Cole Palmer at his best. Cole Palmer is a 35. How much GA? Like how many goals?
He can be.
Wait. Are we only judging him off GA?
No, but Cole
Palmer. Because nobody raised Bruno.
Palmer had Cole Palmer in his 38 games last season with Chelsea was magnificent. It's not only a goal.
Whole game.
Palmer was magnificent. All 38 games, he was magnificent.
Are we only judging these players on goals though? Because we're clearly only starting.
No, the whole game, like everything they do, like because Wirtz does everything. Like he's not just. That's the thing about it. Like everyone's just looking at Wirtz as like, oh, his goals, his assists. Have you seen the amount of work the guy puts in? The amount of tackles he does, the amount of presses he does, the amount of.
Do you realize you're going to have to change how you play though?
He's completely. He's basically. He reminds me of a Wayne Rooney. Like the guy's got it all. Like all of it. Like scores a worldie, puts in a brilliant challenge, has a go at the referee, does a naughty yellow card there. Like he does all of it.
So you think he's worth 150 million euros?
He's 118 million pounds, by the way. Like
he's 126. Why do we keep lowering the price?
The media's wrong, mate. The media's wrong. Okay?
The media's wrong. How do you know this?
The UK media is a week behind. Look at the German stuff. It's all Germany's all right. Germany's right. It's 118. It's 140 million euros. Like we didn't want to break the transfer record. Like we really tried not to.
So the 150 reported yesterday was incorrect, or is it add-ons? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's including add-ons.
He gets like a 10 million euro add-on for winning the Ballon d'Or in like the next 3 years or something.
So when a transfer is announced,
how do we know this?
When a transfer is announced, we add the add-ons.
Like it's in there.
One second. When a transfer is announced, we add the add-ons. We don't remove them just for Liverpool.
No, it's 140 million euros total.
It's 150 million total agreement.
140 million. Trust me.
The deal
doesn't matter what I say. Okay, it will come up.
The deal is agreed at 150 million.
Okay, so let me just.
If it doesn't reach that amount, is depending on his performances. But that is what the deal is worth. So based on the actual transfer that we discussed, we're not going to discuss the hypothetical low end if the player underperforms. We're going to discuss the actual deal that was agreed in total. On paper, they could potentially get up to 150 million euros. That is the agreement. It's not now, oh, it's 140 million and only 10 million added in this case. No, we speak about it as the 150.
Okay. If he gets every single thing, and some of them are pretty much impossible, which we added in the last minute, it's 150 million euros.
Now, I don't know, okay?
We don't know. Okay,
guys, hold on.
Euros.
Guys, we don't know. But we sit here and always judge transfers, as Igal said, based on what Fabrizio said, what Ben Jacobs said, what the journalist said. Everyone said it's 150 million euros. I don't know the add-ons. Maybe you guys know. Maybe Liverpool journalists know. But it says 150 million euros. So I'm assuming that the whole deal is 150 million, including add-on. I don't know. It might be 140. But that 10 million doesn't matter. That is not the case.
They get 118 million pounds.
No, but you know what this is? I'm sorry, brother. This is your Liverpool circle trying to make it downplay the signing. As a rival looking in, you should embrace it. Be like,
it doesn't matter. 140. Okay, let's assume it's 140. It's still a money for a player.
I'm not even bantering, Mo. I'm being dead serious.
I know you are not.
I feel like this is what happens when you're in your own circle for too long. When you get into shows where you're discussing things with rivals.
Igal, 2 seconds. We all talk about Darwin Núñez being an 84 million pound player. He's not. We paid 77 million for him. That's it. And we're selling the guy. So that's why I'm saying it's 140 million euro cash. They are guaranteed 118 million right now. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The extra 10 is for a Ballon d'Or thing. It might even be 2 Ballon d'Ors, by the way. It's a ridiculous add-on, which will probably never be achieved. Which is why I'm saying it's 118 million cash.
But you know something?
I'm not saying it's not 150 million in total. Eventually,
nobody's going to care about the price if he does well, and if he does bad,
no one's going to care. He's a bargain anyway. He's a bargain at that price.
No. A bargain. He's not a bargain. You can't be a bargain. You can't be a bargain at a record fee.
No, this is ridiculous.
You broke every record. You can't call him a bargain.
Can we not talk about
he's a really good player?
Yeah.
He's worth 150 million quid. Easy.
I don't think any player is worth 150 million.
Hold on. He's a bowler and everything, but if Cherki is 35 million,
scored more goals and assists than Lionel Messi and Ronaldo.
Hold on.
When?
Guys,
Kai Havertz did the same thing.
Just let that sink in.
Kai Havertz did the same thing at that age.
What, scored more goals than Lionel Messi?
Yes,
no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Kai Havertz did the same thing at that age.
How many goals and assists did Havertz have when he was 22?
I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I remember seeing the exact same stat about Kai Havertz.
I didn't know that.
Okay, 150 million euros or something. That must be the best signing. Okay, if you are the most expensive player in the history of the Premier League, you must reach the levels of Kevin De Bruyne, Gerrard, these players, right?
You got time. You're 22 years
otherwise,
old.
You want to see something more? Check this out. Because they're talking about. I
wanted Kai Havertz.
What was your stat? What was your stat?
He went to Chelsea.
What was your stat? You said outscored Messi and Ronaldo at the same age, right?
No. Outscored Messi and Ronaldo at the age of 22. When they were 23.
Kai Havertz stats at the age of 22 next to Ronaldo and Messi at the age of 22 had more goals than both of them, had more assists than Messi, same as Ronaldo, with less games than Ronaldo.
Oh, okay. That's a throwaway.
And they both played for Leverkusen.
That's a throwaway stat.
No, it's not a throwaway stat.
He's got 136 goals and assists.
Exact same stat you just mentioned.
He's got 136 goals and assists. More than Messi and Ronaldo did at the age of 23.
I showed you 22. He's same.
Just turned 22, mate. 3 weeks ago.
I'm just making the comparison.
We've got a whole year.
I'm making the comparison. Both players had the same output levels where they outperformed Messi and Ronaldo at Leverkusen. So I don't want to hear about what he's done at Germany. I want to see him do it in the Premier League, because when Kai Havertz came over from the Bundesliga, he struggled. When a lot of guys came over from the Bundesliga, they struggled. I expect Florian Wirtz to eventually get it right, but right now we can't be talking about these granular things. I don't know if he's worth 150 million euros. I think Liverpool's scouting team and recruitment team know better than I do. But one thing I will tell you, if he does not perform well for the first season, he might struggle to get himself physically used to the league, because technically he's amazing on the ball. He's going to get goals. He's going to get assists. He's going to have moments of brilliance. But will there be games where the teams are more physical to him and he struggles a little bit more? Will there be teams where he's going to be able to unlock low blocks? 100%. But will there be games where he's going to be a passenger defensively and he's not going to be able to get back and help out the team? Because he is going to play in the midfield. He's not going to be playing as a winger, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to have to get back and help out defensively also. There's two sides to the game. I don't know how well he's going to perform on the other side of the game.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to reply? Sorry.
Yes, like he's talking to you. He's not talking to me. But before K-Mac
replied, at the end of the day, like, he's been playing for Xabi Alonso for the last couple of years. Yeah, Xabi Alonso is the manager that Liverpool wanted to sign. Yeah, he was our first choice. We obviously got Slot because Xabi Alonso said he was staying. So we've obviously done our homework and we know that he's a guy that's going to fit into a Liverpool system. So he should really fit into a Liverpool system. Let's be fair. And we haven't been too wrong with signings under Edwards, have we? Let's be fair. There's not many duds. Like, he didn't sign Núñez, he didn't sign Diaz, didn't sign any of those kind of guys. He was the one that got you Alisson, Salah, Mane, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho. He's the guy that signed those guys. So I think he'll fit in really well. And the fact that he's there for the pre-season is going to be great. And Slot sold the system to him. Like, that's come out recently, that it was only Slot who we had an extensive meeting with, who explained exactly where he's going to fit into the team and how the team's going to play around him. And he's going to be the focal point. So let's just watch how it goes. But the Premier League's a hard league, no doubt.
It's very hard.
The Premier League's a hard league.
Let me just do this super chat. Omar is saying Mo Wirtz is old news. Striker is the new news, Habib. Yes, Liverpool are gonna target striker. Big up Omar. Yes, Liverpool are targeting a striker. Where are reports that Rodrigo's preference is Arsenal? Even Bayern are looking for a winger, and they have 100 million for Wirtz. He didn't spend. Let me just which they didn't spend. Yeah. Okay. And Igal never said that he said that Arsenal is preferred position. He slots in at Arsenal. He starts every game, and I think he's someone that
he's he's Arsenal's number one target. What do you call it? Berta's already spoken with Rodrigo's representatives, and at this moment in time, Arsenal have the most inroads into the deal. Majority of Real Madrid journalists, tier ones out of Real Madrid, have mentioned Arsenal as the only club so far that has really gone in for him. And there's been reports that there's other Premier League clubs looking to sell so they can come in and try to buy him also. And I think that might be Liverpool.
Sure. What about Chelsea and City, who have spent a lot more? There is pressure on City.
No,
there is no pressure on City. But in the same time, when you sign, with all due respect, when City signed Cherki for 35 million euros and Liverpool signed a number 10 for 140 million euros,
the
City
pressure
will be on Liverpool.
Who City wanted did all the groundwork on.
Maybe they were put off by the price. I don't know.
Nah.
Or maybe he said no. Because look at who they targeted after. They targeted Cherki. Maybe, I don't know. All I know is that he said no to City.
I know you're trying to pander to some of the City fans.
No. All what I want to say is that
Manchester City have got Liverpool sloppy seconds in this transfer window.
Nouri, yes. And
Cherki. We'd already spoken to Nouri. Like, he was already on our list. We'd already spoken to Ryan Cherki. That's all come out that slot.
Let me ask you a question.
Can I do these super chats, Igal, just before?
No. It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
Okay.
Are you upset that you got Ryan Gravenberch right now?
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't want Ryan Gravenberch last season. Like, I thought he was
Are
really
you
poor.
upset right now that
Not
you
last season, the season before. I thought he was really poor, but Arne Slot has turned him into an absolute superstar. Like,
right?
I'll
Do
happily
you think
eat my
Chelsea?
hat.
Do you think Chelsea fans are saying that Ryan Gravenberch is Chelsea's sloppy seconds? Because that's basically what you had to do after Caicedo deal fell through. You went and got Ryan Gravenberch. I think it's harsh to say that Cherki's sloppy.
We got Endo. We didn't sign Ryan Gravenberch as the defensive midfielder. We signed Endo.
Endo was definitely not good enough, but it ended up leading for you guys to get Ryan Gravenberch. You know what I mean?
Well, we signed him as an 8, though. We didn't sign him as a 6.
Fair. Maybe I'm incorrect. But regardless, I'm saying I think it's harsh to say Cherki is sloppy seconds. I think Cherki is just as good as Florian Wirtz. And I think if what do you call it, Liao were not getting relegated, he'd be going between 80 to 100 million.
You think Cherki is the same level as Florian Wirtz?
I think Cherki, if his club wasn't getting relegated and he didn't have an agreement in place, he would be easily an 80 to 100 million euro player. And the only difference is one plays in the Bundesliga for a team that recently won a title and won multiple trophies, and the other one plays for Lille in the French league. It's different. They play for different caliber teams, but Ryan Cherki's never worth 80 million, mate. I don't think Cherki talent-wise.
Okay, so how much do you think he's worth then, Mac? Hold on, just give me 1 second.
Cherki,
okay, because he said he's not
minimum. 50 minimum.
So you think Florian Wirtz is 3 times? You think Florian Wirtz is 3 times the player Cherki is?
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. I think Cherki will actually
achieve. What's he achieved?
It's not about what you've achieved. It's also about what you bring to the table as a footballer. I think.
Okay, what's he brought to the table as a footballer?
I think he brings creativity. I think he helps them. I think he helps them set up a lot more of their goals. Last season, they lacked creativity in that team, and he has an abundance.
Cherki's only had one good season. One good season, and his team got relegated.
His team got relegated due to financial.
His team didn't get relegated because of him, by the way.
They got relegated
because of financial problems, but he didn't have a great season. He had one good season, and he's only just been called up to France, by the way. So if he's all that, then where are all these caps?
Listen, it's not easy making the French team, bro. Let's be honest, it's not.
Let me read the super chats. Let me read the super chats. Difference is Liverpool have won before, Arsenal haven't. That's why there is a lot of pressure as well on Arsenal. But when you sign that much. 100% you're right, but when you sign that expensive player, especially guys, there's over 1,000 people here. Can we get that? We're only on 160 likes. Hit that like button, and also if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit that like button. Come on, guys, get us to 500 likes. It's over 1,000 people, and you guys are not liking the video because you're being entertained. Come on, the like button is free. Hit the like button. Leon here is saying, Igal. It is as if Slot has learned a few lessons in his first season winning the league. This narrative you're giving makes no sense for your own team. Leon, I don't know what narrative.
What narrative is he talking about? Did I call Liverpool bad? Did I call Arne Slot bad? Did I call your team bad? What on earth are you talking about? I'm just questioning their logic around some of these topics around Florian Wirtz. I'm not all of a sudden saying Liverpool are not a good team. What is he talking about?
Leon, I don't know.
Have you watched a second of the show?
He hasn't said Liverpool are a bad team.
He's expecting who's favorite Seagal next season to win the league title?
Liverpool right now.
Thank you so much. Everyone would say the same.
All I said was Liverpool don't have the same level of pressure as Man City and Arsenal, because Man City didn't win the league last year and Arsenal haven't won the league in 20-something years. Liverpool have the least pressure out of the three of us, I think.
Not with Wirtz. I disagree. Not with Wirtz.
I think Florian Wirtz has the most pressure out of that whole Liverpool team. Okay. Nobody else has any level of pressure.
Fair enough. Kepa on 100K a week. He's not, Kepa's by the way.
75. Who said
Kepa is not on 100K a week. Leon is not on 100K a week. Invincible Bayern champion.
By the way, I've got to say, that's a weird signing.
It's a very good signing, by the way.
It's just weird.
Let me finish these. You can ask whatever. Invincible Bayern champion key player. He's comparing him to Havertz. Okay, Omar, Igal literally compared the number of goals and assists because K-Mac said that he exceeds Messi and Ronaldo. So he got literally just put up a stat. It's as simple as that. When you come up with an argument and someone put in the numbers, don't come back and say, but don't compare him to average. It's the same. We finally show we can spend money and attract big players. It is not enough. We win the Prem. We win the Prem. It's not good enough. Genuinely, we cannot wait. What does that mean, Jack?
You know, Jack.
What does that mean?
You're being a bit pessimistic there, mate.
You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care.
Don't care about it, Jack.
Because if you're winning and people are trying to downplay it, you shouldn't care. If you're listening to people like me trying to talk about Liverpool in a bad light or anything like that, you should block it out. Because at the end of the day, as much as you might disagree with some of the things I say, you guys are delivering, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Why is the media using euros instead of pounds? Because
that's the German currency.
Germany.
Because he's from Germany, it's not an English transfer. So yeah. I am talking about the Wirtz narrative when your own team is under major pressure. He literally said that. You come after me.
Arsenal are under more pressure than Liverpool, but Florian Wirtz is going to be the player under the most pressure next season, going into the league title holders on a record fee for an English player coming to the league, on a record fee for a German signing, for a record fee for a midfielder in world football. Come on. What are we talking about?
100%. What were you asking, Mark?
I can't remember now, sorry.
1 second. Chez knows. Enzo came to the Premier League. Didn't Enzo have the most pressure at Chelsea?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And these guys think Florian Wirtz won't have pressure for 150 million euros.
I mean,
Enzo,
Leon in the chat, clearly.
Enzo only had like half a season in like half a good season as well. Like,
yeah,
but so much pressure.
The money is the money.
He got ripped for a season.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure for him. Like,
it's just the money. It's just the money, it's the money. When it comes to money, objectivity goes out the window. People don't really care. Like Caicedo was one season in the Prem. Enzo had half a season in the Portuguese league, but no one cares. When you spend the money, you have to perform. So if Wirtz, for example, as much as you want to give context where he runs around, you don't pay 150 million for a run around kind of footballer. It's goals and assists, unfortunately. It's just how it is. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand that's the way football's viewed this way in terms of the world. So Wirtz has to hit a certain number of GA, and that's how people are going to judge him. This is how it is. If we buy, for example, Rodrigo, people are going to expect GA from him. Or a Gal's team buys him. It's just how it is. It's just how it is.
Yeah, right away.
Just say that to trigger a Gal.
I am literally expecting Liverpool. There is pressure from the fans, but I still think that, logically speaking, Liverpool should win the title.
Logically, I agree with that.
Logically speaking, Liverpool should win the title. And I believe the reason why I say Liverpool will be disappointed, they are must. If Liverpool don't win the title after all these signings at the end of next season, Liverpool fans will be disappointed. This is one of the best chances for you to retain the title, especially with the signings that you're getting, especially with Arne Slot being there. You gotta be favorites to win the title. And once you're favorites, that's pressure. That's you being disappointed if you don't.
I heard you guys said earlier, it was a good debate. I agree with you because in terms of the Liverpool thing, because came out with a degree. When the team win the league, they're the benchmark for the rest of the Premier League, right? So if the benchmark improves on paper, then again, if no one's done an exponential amount to overtake them, I don't think Man City signings have. Arsenal haven't signed anybody yet. We don't know what they're going to do. Chelsea aren't really there yet, unless they sign some crazy players. Liverpool of Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkhead should be expected to retain the league. But in terms of the pressure of winning the league, it depends how you want to view it, because Arsenal need to win it for the manager and the club, because the fans are going to be restless if they don't win it. Man City, there's no pressure as much. I would agree with that. I'll probably put them third. But Liverpool, there's pressure because they just won the league. So I wouldn't just say outright Liverpool clear pressure on them. I think it is between Arsenal and Liverpool in terms of how you want to view it. In my opinion, I think it's quite even. Because if Arsenal do not win the league next season, it does look very, very spooky for the project.
What player has the most pressure on him, though? Single player.
Oh, the single player then Wirtz. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
No question.
That's not even a debate. That's just how it is, isn't it?
That's what the guy was super chatting about.
I'm going to tell you guys something. if Arsenal sign Rodrigo for even only 100 million euros, right away, Rodrigo have the most pressure in the league.
You know what I wanted? That's what I wanted to say.
More than Florian Wirtz.
Way more than Florian Wirtz.
I
Way
get,
more
I
than
get that
Florian Wirtz.
Arsenal.
No debate. I'm going to tell you, can I just present my case? No debate. Rodrigo comes to the Premier League from a Champions League winning Real Madrid twice there. He is the savior for Arsenal. He comes in, start week in, week out. If Rodrigo doesn't perform, people are going to slaughter him. The reason why I'm saying this, because still Liverpool will have Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, McAllister. We know that at the current moment, everyone looking at Arsenal saying, do the signings, win the league. You do the signings, and Rodrigo doesn't deliver, and he doesn't win you the league, right away, you get scrutinized. Right away. 10 games in, broski. I'm telling you, I get your point about at the current moment, it's Wirtz. But Rodrigo, 10 games, bro. If you start 10 games and Rodrigo's not performing for Arsenal, you're not winning games, people are going to look at this, what the fuck? The problem is going to be Arsenal. Right away. Because I'm telling you what.
That's because they haven't won the league.
Thank you. But imagine if Wirtz, imagine if Wirtz comes in. I want to tell you what. If Wirtz come in and he's like in the first 10 games having 5 assists, but Salah is scoring goal, Liverpool are top of the league, everyone is going to tell him he's adapting because the others are scoring. If Rodrigo comes into Arsenal and he's adapting and he's not performing, we're like, okay, how the fuck we waited all these years and we get our marquee signing? Because Wirtz is a marquee signing, but they still have, on paper, Liverpool have a player that is on paper better than Wirtz right away. Right? Am I wrong to say that? Salah.
No,
he's better than Wirtz on paper, right?
Yeah.
So that is the point. Rodrigo comes in.
It's a good point. I agree with that.
Like, and the problem is, Igal, we are all saying that Rodrigo goes to Arsenal. Wallahi, if Rodrigo doesn't go to Arsenal, I don't know who you're gonna sign. Who are you gonna sign on the left wing? Who are you gonna sign?
Can I just ask Igal a question on that as well? Is look, I get that, like, I get Rodrigo is like that guy that everyone wants to go on the left hand side, but was Martinelli really that bad last season?
Yes.
How many goals did the guy score?
It's not about Martinelli. It's about lack of X factor.
What does Martinelli have to do to get a fair crack of the whip? Like, he played well last season. Like, he did. I'm sorry.
Proportions. The issue is a lack of difference makers. Besides Bukayo Saka, we really did not have players who could take the game by the scruff of the neck by themselves. Martinelli is more dependent on players playing him in behind to utilize his pace. He's not going to take the ball and get past players 1v1 by himself and get you a goal. He's not gonna drift from the midfield.
And you know the problem is Saka hasn't done this last season. He was injured, but Saka has done this a season before. Saka was
doing that last season.
In the beginning, he was getting assists and stuff. You know what I mean? He was the most creative player at Arsenal and stuff like this.
He scored 2 goals versus in the Bernabeu and versus, what do you call it?
Yeah, he was great. My point about you need someone else to take the pressure off him. You cannot just have him.
So did Martinelli. Martinelli scored against Real Madrid as well.
My thing about Saka is I believe Saka is a very, very good player. But can Saka by himself carry Arsenal like Salah carried Liverpool?
To so far. You still need more difference makers. That's why we need a striker. That's why we need a striker, and we've identified Rodrigo as another difference maker. Because as much as we say it, let me just put it in basketball terms. Martinelli's not clutch. Trossard's not clutch. You need clutch players to show up in tough moments. And Rodrigo's been there. He's shown up in clutch moments, and he's shown that he can help you win a game when it's tight, when it's time to finally deliver. And he's done that. He's been there. He comes into our team immediately as one of the most decorated players at the club, and he can show them how to get through these games. Saka can deliver. Saka's shown that he can be clutch. Saka's shown that he can step up. Now, if we're gonna go and sign Sesko, Rodrigo's the kind of signing that makes it work. That Rodrigo is the kind of signing that makes that deal work. It's not about getting the best out of Martinelli. Martinelli's still going to be here. Trossard's probably going to be the one that goes, in my opinion.
Can I?
Martinelli had a better season than Rodrigo last season. Just like, he got 10 goals. He got 10 goals and 5 assists.
It's not only about the goal. Well, what do you want to say, Shez? To be honest, you wanted to interrupt.
What season was it where Martinelli got quite a lot of goals?
2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago.
2023.
And would you say that the reason why he got those numbers? Okay, here's another question that kind of answers that. Why has he regressed, the guy?
He's not regressed. What's happened is he wasn't utilized as the more important player because his finishing has declined. He's been a little bit caught out. He's very predictable in the final third. For the 2022-2023 season, every time he had a chance 1v1, he tried to put it far corner. And now goalkeepers kind of expect him to just go far corner every time, so they just get down quicker. And he's more predictable. It's not that he's regressed; he's stagnated.
Yeah, the chat's kind of answered me as well. I hear that, girl, but I do believe
he's only 23.
Yeah. This is what I'm going at. In my opinion,
he's stagnated.
I don't think he's stagnated. I think
the reason why Jurgen Klopp absolutely lauded him, by the way.
I'm going to touch on that lines. In my opinion, I think it's the manager's. Yeah. He's definitely changed something in the system, which has definitely diminished some other quality of the players. Because you don't just go from scoring 14 how many goals in the league, which is very difficult to do, to now being a player where all of a sudden now people just want to get rid of you. And Rodrigo comes in, and I don't know who asked this question, was it the chat or came out or Mo, but they asked about defensive abilities. Is Rodrigo going to be asked to come back and defend? Probably.
100%.
That's a problem then.
That's not a problem. The top Ballon d'Or candidate was running back and defending all season. This is why I know you guys just have agendas at this point. You're taking Twitter narratives. The reality situation is majority of players across Europe in the best teams are asked to do defensive work.
Yeah, everyone.
Rodrigo at Real Madrid had to do all the defensive work out of the front three guys. Mbappe and Vini barely did any. Rodrigo was the guy who was doing the most dogged work in that team, getting back and helping.
So are you disagreeing that Arteta has got nothing to do with Martinelli's dropping form?
I don't think it's simply down to the manager. I do think it's also down to the player not being clinical, and that is down to Martinelli not finishing his dinner. The manager has tried his best to adapt the system to Martinelli's capabilities in the 2023-2024 season. He tried his best with Martinelli to the point where it almost cost us games. And then eventually he said, you know what? You're not doing the business. Trossard, get in there. Trossard ended up delivering. I do think Martinelli can get back to his best eventually, but it's down to him having better players around him that can play those through balls, that can play the passes in which that gets the best out of him. He's not somebody who can take the game by himself. He needs the ball played in behind, and we didn't have line-breaking passers. Now that we have Zubimendi, maybe we'll see more passes in behind for Martinelli. I do think Xhaka leaving, we lost that element to our game. That pass was not there. That's why when Martinelli played with Jorginho, he played better than when he played with Partey. Partey just doesn't play the type of passes that would suit a player like Martinelli.
I understand what you're saying.
Same way. If you had Luis Diaz, if you had Luis Diaz in our team and you put Martinelli in their team last year, I think Martinelli gets more goals in that Liverpool team because they play more.
When I say about like the defensive abilities, I'm not even using Twitter. I don't have Arsenal Twitter like that. I'm just saying, when I watch your team, it doesn't look the same style as seasons before, where you're a bit more fluid, a bit more attacking football. And in my opinion, a lot of the players, I'm not saying it's just defensive work, which is making them regress numbers-wise, but the tactics of being more pragmatic isn't necessarily benefiting all the players in your team.
I think the tactics
the question is for the other two, because I know you're going to say he's not attack.
No, let me answer.
Can someone ask him questions?
Yeah. The question is for the panel is, if Rodrigo joins, is Arteta going to get the best out of him?
It's not. That's not the question. The question is
good question, by the way.
The question
he hasn't got the best out of Martinelli.
You started off with one question and then you changed it to another. Your point around the team last season. Your point around the team last season underperforming attacking wise is valid, but the main reason why they underperformed attacking wise is because the quality was not there. And when the quality was there, we've seen them score goals in bunches. The injuries and the players, some of them not being up to scratch, led to a weak performance down the stretch. And it's not a situation where it's like, oh, you now all of a sudden get Rodrigo and Sesko and bring them into a team with Martinelli, Trossard, Saka, Havertz, Jesus, and you're saying they're all of a sudden going to be worse offensively. No, with better offensive talent, you're going to get better offensively. I think it's pretty straightforward. The team lacked qualities in the final third last year, and that was evident when we were playing guys.
Given a new contract to go?
No, he hasn't been given a new contract. He's in discussions for a new contract. It's not been confirmed.
How do you think Martinelli feels though? Like the fact that he doesn't get played as the first team player. Like he's been at Arsenal for a long time now. Like since he was a kid, he still hasn't been put down as the first team player. The Arsenal fans give him so much stick. Trossard got signed. Trossard got signed to kind of pick up the goals because he wasn't scoring enough, allegedly. And now you're linked with Rodrigo. You were linked with a number of wingers. Like Nico Williams was one. Now Rodrigo. Like surely that's not going to be good for Martinelli, and he's still a young 23-year-old player. Like
I'm sorry. What do you,
I just think he's been treated quite badly. If I'm completely honest.
Treated badly, bro. How many games did he start? What are you talking about? He started over 20 games. Last season. Last season, he played 33 games. No. Don't tell me what his point is.
Mate, I'm just reading the chat. I'm just reading the chat.
Stop. He played 33 games last season and only came off the bench 8 of them. He started over 24 plus games. Majority of the last couple seasons. 2 seasons ago, when he got 15 goals, he started 34 games. It's up to him.
That's a good return.
It's up to him to work harder to get to keep his place in that starting job. Also, when you're injured, like he was last season, you're not going to meet your full capabilities.
I want to answer the question.
I personally think you need to understand there's a lot of different opinions out there. Some people are of the belief that because he's not had 2 seasons where he's reached 15 goals again, that all of a sudden he's a poor player. I don't think Arsenal's of that belief, and I don't think anyone at the club is of that belief. Now, if they were to receive, say, like a 60 or 70 million pound bid, maybe they'll think about it. But right now, I don't think Arsenal's looking to sell Martinelli. They're looking to strengthen on what we currently have to our disposal because we need to.
Can you bring Jonathan Case?
No, I'm not going.
You guys are going circles. I
want to ask one question. I don't want to shout with people. I just want to ask a simple question. It came out. It said it was a good question as well on the chat. Is he going to get the best out of Rodrigo?
Why are you assuming that he won? If I say yes,
no, I'm not saying he won.
But he hasn't had Martinelli.
Hold on.
No,
if I say yes, I'm assuming yes.
The question comes from my point on how their tactics have changed. Correct.
Because I think Rodrigo's a much better player than Martinelli.
Let me explain. Their tactics have changed. Correct. That's a fact. Everyone knows that. They don't play as much of expansive football anymore. Now, that's hindered certain players. Gal already said perfectly that Martin likes the ball in behind. He's not a kind of player who's going to score a goal spur of the moment or have the extra quality. Fine. But Rodrigo, we know, has certain attributes that if utilised correctly can turn into a great goal scorer. At the moment, he's not a great goal scorer. He doesn't score a lot of goals. But what people rate him for is his ball carrying and his ability to potentially get loads of goals in the team and be clutch, is the word used earlier in the stream. So I'm asking the question, do we all believe that Rodrigo under Arteta's current system would thrive? Because at the moment, he doesn't score a lot of goals. He doesn't score 20, 30 goals. It's not his fault because he's a left winger and he plays right wing. Fair enough. But will Arteta convert him to left wing and get the best output out of him?
Can I just answer this? Simply, I think there is no, in my opinion, there is no better winger in the market at the current moment than Rodrigo that is available. Maybe Leao, and we can argue that the work ethics of Leao is way less than Rodrigo. I think Leao needs more work. Arsenal can only hope that Rodrigo's going to come in and be the same player that he was at Real Madrid. If we're going to assume that Mikel Arteta is not going to be getting the best out of him, that means we're assuming that Mikel Arteta will not be getting the best out of anyone in the world. That means Arsenal should sack Mikel Arteta, and he's not a good coach. I'm assuming, and this is me assuming that Rodrigo is a better player than Martinelli and Trossard, that he will perform better than Martinelli and Trossard. That means Arsenal right away improve on that left side, right away, which is what Arsenal need. Same as the striker position, Arsenal need improvement. So I'm assuming that Arteta will get the best out of Rodrigo, and he's going to be better than Martinelli and Trossard. Simply, that's it. Why not?
So it's Martinelli's fault that he hasn't got better.
That's my point.
That's the question.
Because Martinelli's a good player. He's not like this.
Since he was 18 years
that's the
old.
point. That's the point. That's why
he's been very good at your club.
Sitters. Guys, he's missing sitters. He's missing 1v1s. He's missing chances where he could easily play the ball across to Saka on open goals.
Isn't that the coaching team to work on?
No, it's simply down to decision making and time.
He's regressed at 23 years old.
His decision making is poor. He can maybe improve his decision making, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's finished. I'm just simply saying we get better by moving Martinelli to the bench and bringing in a player who's been there, done that, and has proven it at a higher level.
I agree with that, but the point is, why is he regressing at 23 years old?
He's not regressed. He's just simply not taking his game to another level. I'm saying he's stagnated at best. To say he's regressed would mean that he's reached this ultimate high and he's fallen off a cliff. It's not that. He had one really good season and he's not been able to replicate again due to injuries and due to him not being able to keep his form.
So he scored 15 goals in that really good season.
Yes, he overperformed his XG massively.
He scored 10 last season. Like, am I missing the point here? Like one of your wingers scoring 10 goals should be pretty good because your strikers can't hit the back of a barn door.
Yeah, but now we're about to buy 2 better players. He's moving to the bench.
What? Sesko scored 13 goals last season. Like Rodrigo scored like 5.
Goals.
How are you buying better players?
Sesko scored 13 goals in a team.
But your man scored 10 goals in the Premier League.
That plays a 2-striker system. He was not the main striker. He's going to be
someone
playing.
Tell me what is your point then?
Oh no, the point is very clear.
Their point is just they don't think Rodrigo is going to make a difference at Arsenal.
The point Arteta's made.
Who's going to make a difference at Arsenal?
I never said that.
Who's going to make a difference
at Arsenal? That's what Chez is implying.
No.
You're implying that, Chez. Yes.
You know my question.
You're smiling. You're smiling because you know what
you're so crazy. You're so crazy.
You know what you're doing.
He's going to say what I said.
If you actually listen, it's actually very easy to understand what I just said.
Unless
you have one set, they're confused.
And now you're trying to gaslight people. Don't let him gaslight you guys. He knows what he said. He said it, and now he's trying to change it because he got caught out.
Okay, he asked me a question.
You don't think Rodrigo's going to make a difference?
He asked me the question, not you.
No. Answer my question straightforward.
Mo, who's our question? The host or yours?
You asked questions earlier. Are you the host?
You are the one who asked us a question.
Are you the host
of the show for the last 10 minutes?
You are the one who
deflecting. Answer the question, Chez.
Hold on.
Do you believe Rodrigo will make a difference at Arsenal? Yes or no?
You know, so clear.
No.
I've already said Rodrigo. Oh, wait, K-Mac said that. I'm not said that.
No.
I'm saying, in my opinion, Martinelli's regressed. So I'm trying to figure out why he's regressed. Okay? He's a left winger. So if the answer is Arteta is the reason why, which I think K-Mac was arguing, other people in the chat agreeing with, then Rodrigo coming in would be an upgrade on Martinelli, but he might also not reach his potential and help your team the best possible if Arteta holds him back. That's the point.
Do you think Rodrigo is
he's an upgrade on Martinelli? And he came out and said that. I didn't. I think he is.
Then we got that.
Mo said to me earlier, he's the best left winger on the market. I never said he wasn't. Of course, he's the best left winger on the market. If you bought him, that's a 6 signing. But one point is, I believe, for example, so this is the point, Mo. If he came to Chelsea's system, I think he got there. I know Maresca likes 1v1 wingers, and I know he'll give him the freedom in the left wing to attack his fullback and do what he needs to do. In Arsenal's system, Martinelli's regressed. So I asked the question originally, why has that happened? Now, a lot of people in the chat, and me came out and Mo were discussing, saying Arteta's had an impact on that. So Rodrigo goes in. The question was, do you think he's going to get the best out of him? And a lot of people don't think he will. That's the point. Doesn't mean he's not a good player. Doesn't mean he's not world-class potential. But he's not a goal scorer, like me and K-Mac are telling you. He's only got like 5-6 goals. So is Arteta, who already puts handbrakes on players, going to get him 15, 20 GA in the league?
Okay.
That's the question.
Who do you think Arsenal should sign then?
No, this is sign Rodrigo.
You don't care who we sign.
I think the manager...
Let him answer. Let him answer, please.
Rodrigo is the best left... People agree with me in the chat. Thank you very much for agreeing with me.
Okay.
Left wing, okay. Rodrigo is the best player for that position.
Okay.
So I think he's the best player in the market. But
do you think Rodrigo can help Arsenal win the league next season?
To a certain degree, but I think Arteta needs to change his tactics slightly to give him more opportunity to thrive because I don't think
Same way
Arsenal's
Arne
attack-
Slot has to change his tactics for
Hold
Florian
on,
Wirtz.
I need to finish off my point. The same way Arsenal's attack, even though they create chances, everyone can see with their eyes, and the stats prove it. They don't create a lot of chances. They don't create a lot of openings. So despite the fact they miss a lot of chances, they don't create a lot. So of course, if you don't create a lot, you don't take a lot. What happens? You don't score a lot. Are you not clutch? That's my point. So in my opinion, he can go to Arsenal and do well to a certain degree. He might perform at a 7, but I think if you get a good manager who can get the best out of him and attacking football, like a Liverpool system, he can perform at a 9, 10 level.
Like Maresca.
Right now, he doesn't score loads of goals. So he's not like he's going like a Gyökeres coming into the league where he's got the record. You just got to get the best out of him the same way it's Sporting. You've now got to improve his levels.
Wait, Mac. Let me just counter this.
Let
me just counter this. You said something about Enzo Maresca getting the best out of it. Do you think if Enzo Maresca goes to Arsenal, he does better than Arteta?
With the players?
Yes.
Of course.
He hasn't got enough experience for me to say yes. He would have to prove it next season if he does well with Chelsea, top 3, top 4, gets another trophy, progresses even more, then I could say that. But Arteta for the pure fact
okay, fair enough.
Finished above him and he's got 5 years. Arteta's been there for 6 years. This is Maresca's second season. 1 being in the Championship, 1 being in the Premier League. So he could be a better manager, but he hasn't had the same sample size.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's very fair.
Been
Very fair
managing
answer.
longer than Arteta, by the way.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, didn't he manage in Italy?
No, he hasn't.
Didn't Maresca manage in Italy?
Okay, I'm gonna let you go fact check yourself before I actually go on.
He was assistant.
There's 3 players that Arsenal should sign ahead of Rodrigo.
Very fair, to be honest. What you said is very fair.
Yeah,
Mo.
Like I said, it was agendas. K-Mac and Mo. I never said anything crazy.
Which is very fair. Not enough sample size to actually look at Maresca. But based on what we have seen last season, Maresca, his team, with injuries, created more chances than Arsenal. Are they better than Arsenal defensively?
Third or second in the league. Third or second in the league.
No, they're not better defensively. But are they better offensively? Yes, Arsenal scored more goals, but we know that Chelsea don't have the quality that Arsenal have. But Chelsea created more chances. But let me do these super chances because some of them that are related.
Not even like Chelsea. I was using the example.
I really wanted to speak about Chelsea. I couldn't find a Chelsea rep. I think Liverpool need another centre back in the DM to be clear favourites for the Premier League. God forbid if Konate and Gravenberch gets injured, Liverpool are second choice or mid. Do you agree with this? You have Van Dijk.
I mean, we are looking at a centre back. You know, we can't rely on Joe Gomez. You know, he's been injured like, I don't know, last 4 months.
We know that you're going to sell Kwanzaa and you're going to sell.
Kwanzaa's going to get sold.
Yeah,
we're going to reinforce. We were all in for Dean Huijsen, but he picked Real Madrid. So
Victor 10 said, Igal is deluded. Wirtz is the guy in an invincible season with a team that never won before and almost got relegated 2 seasons ago. That is a response.
What did I say?
I'm going to tell you. That is a response for you saying that Wirtz is not 3 times the player Cherki is. And he is not like, he doesn't come to the league like it's 10. Palmer, you said like Bruno Fernandes and stuff like this. That is a response. But listen, Wirtz is great and everything. 150 million euros. Well, you have to see that in the first season.
We just have to wait and see.
I have to wait and see, Victor.
I think
Tim is saying 8
right
to defend Igal, but this guy is so disingenuous. I don't know what that is. Why?
What did I say that's disingenuous?
Why did he say he's disingenuous? I don't understand.
I've got to be honest.
He's talking about Ches. He's talking about Ches.
Because all of the super
talking about Ches. He's talking about Ches. He's talking about
because I'm gonna tell you the reality. I'm gonna tell you that people always come to shows with that's honest speaking, with premeditated like opinions. When we go to the football terrace, every time Osam opens his mouth about Chelsea, people assume that he's gonna say something with agenda. So just this assumption. Every time Don on this channel, people assume that he's gonna say something wild. Shez is always anti-Arsenal. Before he even says anything, he's always anti-Arsenal. Every time Igal speaks, he's always deluded. It doesn't matter what the guy says, even if he says something that people agree with, you're deluded. This is just assumptions that people cannot like shake before they actually make an opinion.
He said he's defending me, so I think he's talking about Ches.
Maybe he is.
I didn't say anything disingenuous.
You were disingenuous with the Rodrigo Martinelli take.
Under Arteta, he were Rodongo. He were Rodongo.
I didn't say anything crazy.
I don't know what that
I
means.
might have been.
I just said
It might be me. Who knows?
Maybe. Under Arteta, he were Redongo. Maybe.
Is that
I don't
Chelsea
know what
fan?
that means.
Under
Yes,
Arteta,
100%.
Oh, he's saying he would be rubbish. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, of course.
I
Kumar
think
is saying so
Solomon.
KDB is 3 times the player Salah is. He has won 6 Premier Leagues and Salah has won 2. Cherki should be given a chance. There is a difference between Pep and Slot. That is for a response for Wirtz is 3 times the player Cherki is, which is only
Let's see what happens. I can't say he will be, can't say he won't be, but from what I've seen so far and the numbers and the fact that he's won a league title and
Pep has all the right to have a season off.
He's worth. You paid 5 times what he's worth, I think.
We also could have bought Cherki. We decided not to.
No, Cherki told you no.
No, he didn't tell us no.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
That's what's being reported from the Athletic. Do you know better than David Onsley?
Logically, why would Cherki tell Liverpool no, though? Logically.
He told Slot no to his face today.
He wanted to go to City.
But logically, why would you say no to Liverpool? Yes.
Because they're about to sign Florian Wirtz. Why would he go to them?
No, before they signed Wirtz.
We weren't.
They went to him after City already went to him, and he promised to go to City.
But even if it's true, chat, I just want to find out the reason. Did they give
and the report? And the report is then they tried to have a meeting with him in France. Arne Slot flew out there and everything, and he told them, unfortunately, I've already made up my mind. I'm going to be going to City.
That's interesting.
So whatever. I'm sorry, what the Liverpool journalists are telling.
This is the strangest window I've ever seen in my life.
Out there, knowing that he wasn't going to come.
No, you guys went out. You guys went out there. You guys went out there to show your presentation.
He did the Caicedo. Fair enough.
And he still turned you down.
My response was to Igal saying that Cherki played in a much weaker team than Wirtz.
Okay. Fair enough.
Actually,
Cherki definitely played in a much weaker team.
He didn't have a coach like Xabi Alonso, to be honest. He didn't have a coach like Xabi Alonso. Anyway, I think Wirtz is a better player. That's just me. Is he 3 times Cherki is? I don't know. But I think he's a better player. At Liverpool, you get what you pay for. Liverpool went for the Bundesliga to one of the best players in the Bundesliga. They paid that money. Fair enough. Like what Chelsea did with Caicedo. They thought that Caicedo would be the best DM in the league. They paid the money and it panned out. Simple as that.
I'm very happy.
You get what you pay for, bro. You get what you pay for, basically. And if it cost 3 times,
I wanted Caicedo.
Guys, hit that like
button.
Won
us the league.
Let me read this. Let me read this. Pep has all the right to have a season off, to make mistakes. Liverpool challenged 1 year, then chilled for a year. When Pep is smoking cigar with the title next year, we will be there. By the way, a lot of City fans think that City will win the title next season.
Which is fair.
They just spent 350 million in the last 6 months.
Money and there's no pressure on them to win it. So there's no reason why they can't. There's no pressure. Yeah.
There is pressure. There's always
pressure. Relative to Arsenal and Liverpool, there's not. Like, if they win it, they win it. If they don't win it, no one's going to be like, oh, how dare you, Man City, not win 2 in a row. Like, you'll be like, yeah, they've had 2 years off. They still competed. They might even win an FA Cup. Don't forget this year, they still made it to a final. So they could have walked away further in the FA Cup. They didn't, but you get my point. Like, it wasn't a bad season. Like, yeah.
Look, guys, hit that. Guys, we have still over 100,000 people here, and we're not even on 300 likes. Guys, let's get to 400 likes live. Hit that like button. Also, all these guys' channels are in the first. Shez, Igal Talks Football, K-Mac channel as well. They're all there. Hit that like button, guys. Go subscribe to these guys. All the same. The 007 Wirtz. Watch gonna hit like that.
Nah, K-Mac, you're so peak because when you spend that kind of money, it will never be okay to not get GA. Like, it's so peak.
It will never, as a 10, it will never be about performance. It will never be about performance.
Wirtz is going to be the main guy. Like, it's just peak. You're ready for it. I hear it, but I'm just letting you know. Like, the season's going to be.
Mate, I'm ready. I'm ready for us to sign the best player in the world in every position. That's what I'm ready for. Edwards is back.
All I have to say is that there must be pressure on Chelsea.
What? What's this got to do with Chelsea? What?
So how do Chelsea spend that much money and have all these players and there's no pressure?
Because Mo,
why do you get a free ride?
Billions.
Context. That's the unfortunate thing about life. It's
So
content.
why is it the rivals' fault that Chelsea go spend the money on the Gittins and all these players?
No, the rivals can say what they want, but if you see a bunch of
Okay.
kids walk through the door, then that's objectively not going to win.
But
the league.
why is it okay? Hold on. So if Liverpool went and spent that much money on kids, would there be pressure on them?
Yeah, because they just won the league, so that's their decision to do.
What? Okay, so the only reason why you haven't challenged for 7 years, you know,
That's my point. That's my point. That's why there's no pressure.
So when is the pressure gonna come?
I think the pressure will rise when people they respect. For example, no one respected Chelsea in the season. I know we're on the Chelsea segment now. No one really looked at Chelsea until the last 9 games of the season, where everyone predicts us to not even make top 4. When that changes to we expect Chelsea to make top 3 in the league, then the expectation will be there to win the league.
Get top 4.
For example,
season.
I think the likes of a guy have said, I rate Chelsea's window if they get the targets they do. Then people might start going, you know what? Chelsea's got Rodgers, Ekatike, Gittins, Bramthwaite, and Mangan comes through the door. Then everyone will go, wow, okay. They don't create a lot of chances. They got the strikers in and they got the lap there. I expect Chelsea to compete. But until that happens, people are always going to see us as the 4th best team in the league. And not even, some people even don't. Some people see
Chelsea have more pressure than
so Chelsea
Liverpool?
so Chelsea get a leeway because they're not signing the best players, even though they're spending a lot of money.
I don't agree with that because I still think with the players we're linked with, we can still compete.
Chelsea don't have pressure.
Yeah.
Chelsea don't have pressure because it's their first year back in the Champions League, and they haven't challenged yet. If they were to have challenged last season to the end of the season and didn't win, then there'd be more pressure on them. But the reality is, I think Chelsea have as much pressure as City do.
And I'll tell you another thing, guys. I don't not want to compete because I get onto other fans like Liverpool back in the day, Arsenal right now not winning. I want to win. If you know me as a fan, football terrorist back in the day, I've always been clowned people for not winning trophies. I'm just saying from the overall perspective of the fan bases. Until Chelsea signed the players, came back in the likes, I'm going to look at Chelsea and go, yeah, they're going to compete with us. They'll see us as a good team, but they won't see us as a main competitor for the league or the Champions League. So if you want to throw at me 2.5 billion,
you know something? I just want to see if Chelsea's a laughing stock next season in the Champions League.
What I will say about Chelsea, though, is
because if they're serious in the Champions League, that will tell me what they're capable of doing going forward.
I don't think Chelsea will be a laughing stock in the Champions League.
No, they won't. They won't. What I will say about Chelsea, though,
against all your teams in the Premier League.
You've not really beaten majority of the top teams.
No, it's not about beating. It's about being competitive with a team that couldn't convert any chances.
Besides the drunk Liverpool, you never beat Man City. You never beat Arsenal.
Yeah, but again, if you want to say we didn't beat them, then we're going to be crap in the Champions League, then, aren't we? I'm saying when we played against Liverpool, ask K-Mac. When we played at Liverpool,
I was about to say, like it was
one of the best games in the league last season.
It was our hardest game. Like Arnie Slot said, like we didn't deserve to win that game, but we did.
Like, your hardest game.
Chelsea will be there next season. They will be there.
That was a backhanded compliment. You beat them.
And the thing is, as well, with Chelsea is, I just hate the fact that they know all the loopholes. Like they've got like another like 600 million to spend as well. Like it's just mad. Like
you
know, I'll sell the hotel. I'll sell the women's team. Like,
why don't we all sell teams? Why do we need? Why don't we do the same thing? Like if Chelsea's able to get away with that, why aren't more people doing it?
Well, it doesn't matter with you. You keep on getting backed by your owners. They just keep on putting 400 million in your pocket.
Who?
Like Cronkies, they're just obsessed with Arteta.
They haven't put. What are you talking about? What money have they put in the club? The club is self-sustaining.
You had like 700 million in like the last 3 windows.
Bro, we've spent 700 million in the last 6.
Yeah, but the owners never injected money like what Jim Ratcliffe did.
One second. Listen to what you just said. 700 million since Arteta's been here. How many years has he been here?
6.
Too many.
6 years. That's 100 million. That's 100 million a year, or just over 100 million a year. What are we talking about? Is that ridiculous money?
Not really.
Over 100 million a year. You're about to spend more money on Florian Wirtz than Arsenal have ever done in a window. Almost.
Okay, are you looking for sympathy? Because no one's going to give
you spent 105.
No, he's wrong.
Seriously,
guys, stop.
Don't be coming at me with
that.
That
is categorically wrong, and you're bantering Arsenal.
No, I'm trying to listen to your point. Say it.
He's sitting here acting like Arsenal spent Chelsea money. Since when do Arsenal spend City or Chelsea money?
Why is that relevant? Why is that relevant?
No, because he's talking. I'm sick and tired of this agenda. Arsenal spent this much money under Arteta. Guess what? Chelsea has spent double that in 2 years.
What's the point? And
my point is, it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
It's still a lot. It's still money.
Why are we making it seem like just over 120 million a year over 7 years is a lot of money?
But why are we comparing? Oh, we've spent 700 million in 7. You spent 1.5.
He compared it, not me.
Oh, no, I'm saying no one's
not even on to Chelsea anymore. He's comparing Arsenal spending to Chelsea's. That's ridiculous.
No, but in relative terms,
why are you even getting involved in this? He's dissing. He's not even dissing you. He's basically saying you are spending as much as Chelsea. As a Chelsea fan, you clearly can see we're not spending the same money as you have been. You've been.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give you a go.
What is he talking about?
You spent loads of money.
What was your point?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, you have. You just said you spent 700 million. That's a lot of money.
Over 6 years. You know what that's like? That's like somebody who just spent $200 on something, telling somebody, "Oh, well, you spent $700 over 7 months." What the fuck are we talking about, bro?
Okay, can someone write in the chat?
Main
700 million over 6 years, the second or third highest spend in the league.
No, the second highest is actually Manchester United. Chelsea's the first. Third is actually Tottenham. Arsenal are like fourth on the list, bro.
Oh, okay.
Who cares? Well, why is this relevant? Who cares?
It's relevant because he brought up an argument that's categorically wrong, and I have to call him out on his bullshit.
Okay. Drop the argument. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a silly argument. Right. The point was,
I'm sick and tired of this dead agenda. Arteta spent this much money over 7 years. Guess what? Football, you spend money, and over 7 years,
that's rattled you a little bit. That comment definitely rattled you a little bit because it wasn't even the point.
No, but it's true.
He wasn't making a big point about it. He was just saying.
The truth is, we always come back to this same argument. Arsenal haven't won anything because they've spent this much money. They have to win. You want to know something? Tottenham spend more than us. Man United spend more than us. Chelsea spend more than us. Congratulations, Liverpool are able to win league titles.
My comment wasn't about how much you spent. My comment was about your owners back your manager. They keep on giving him money.
If they backed our manager, they would have spent the money to get Isak. They still hold him under chains. They didn't want to spend 15 million more.
We're going to a different debate.
Yeah, forget it. I'm sorry.
If our owners had ambition, they would do what Chelsea were doing. They would do what City are doing. Stop it. We're closer to Liverpool's model than we are City or Chelsea's. Don't act like
you don't win anything. You're not close to their model.
No, hold up. Stop.
Financially,
you don't sell players.
Stop.
No, but their model's way better than yours.
You don't sell players.
Igale's point is the manager is not bad.
No, Mo. That wasn't.
They're acting like the Kroenke spend left, right, and center. They don't.
K-Mac's point was.
I thought they did.
He was basically saying that like they back the manager. Maybe Igale's point was not to the degree of Chelsea and Man City's. But he was saying they do back the manager because he spent X amount of money. Igale's point, which is fair, is not the same degree as Chelsea's or Man City's.
He said, why are you complaining? The Kroenkes spend money too.
No, but they do spend money for him, so we can't lie and say they don't spend money towards him, though. They
don't spend Chelsea, Man City money.
Yeah, not Chelsea, Man City money, but they still spend money on the manager. So we can't.
Of course, everybody spends money on their club.
But you can't then say you're closer to Liverpool.
And Postecoglou got more money than Pep Guardiola did.
But the difference between your model and Liverpool's is theirs is a lot more efficient because their signings actually work.
Congratulations to Liverpool. They have the best value for money squad. Fair play.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his point where he said,
I'm sorry, Igale. I'm sorry. Okay.
How much did Liverpool actually spend? I actually want to know that in the last 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, can you find out for me? I'll go back to Chelsea segment because that's where we were at.
I think we're behind Bournemouth.
Because Liverpool's model, I might have to give it more credit. I know I'll banter you about Caicedo and that.
I think we're only 50 million ahead of Bournemouth, if I remember correctly.
Liverpool's model is actually quite good, especially if they win another Premier League. Free Prems in 6 years. Hey, that's quite good, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you're not going to win the Premier League year, so their model actually works quite well. That's if they win the Premier League. But back to Chelsea, just because you spend 2.5 billion doesn't mean equal winning the Premier League.
West Ham spent more than us.
Here's the thing.
West Ham spent more than us. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a feeling you haven't spent a lot of money. Don't look at net. I'm looking at money spent, not net.
You could have bought a club with that kind of money.
No, but my point is I'll give the example, Mo, of like, and chat about this season, right? Everybody in their dog said, if you've got a dog, my dog's not here, but if you've got a dog, everyone in their dog said, listen, Chelsea's not going to win their last 5 games in a row. That's football. Chelsea's not going to beat Forest away. Chelsea are going to finish 6th in the league. Liverpool can't win the Premier League. They got a new manager. Football doesn't work the way that you think it does. So it wouldn't surprise me, for example, if Chelsea competed in the league next season despite having young players. Because Mo even agreed before that despite Chelsea signing young players, I still think the players we're linked with can be enough to compete in the league and to compete for trophies. Maybe not to win it, which is another debate, but that's why the Chelsea fan base are melting down and crying. I still think there's pressure for us to compete. Even if from the wider view of the Chelsea perspective, people don't really look at my team and go, yeah, they should be challenging for the league. They only say that because 2.5 billion spent or however much it is. If we break it down, I think the team is good enough to sustain a certain level. Because literally, K-Mac, if I'd been in Everton, I would have been above you in like January, late December, which is halfway through the season.
I disagree with you, actually. You have the quality to compete.
I don't, as it's what? Same team as it's right now?
Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez with Lavia, Kukurea, Reece James, right? Up top, Neto might be good enough. Neto might start here and there. He might start for some clubs.
Squad player.
All you need is just more, like a couple of players up top, and you should be good to go. And a centre back. That's it.
You know what? You know what's wild? You know what's wild? England hired Tuchel as a manager.
Yeah, I have to finish the show.
And Tuchel basically gave all the England players who played for Chelsea like. That's how much quality.
I think there is quality in the Chelsea team. The problem is if this 50 million is not spent on Gettins, and you might go spend it on Semenyo, or you go spend it on Nico Williams, that takes the team to a different level. If that 50 million, 45 million pounds is going to spend on Nico Williams, that takes the team to a whole different level. You know what I mean? The last 30 million.
Semenyo is what Arsenal needs. Semenyo is what Arsenal needs.
Forget about Arsenal. I want to talk about. For me, if Chelsea go sell Nkunku for like 40 million pounds and put 20 million on that, and they get a striker for 60 million, for example, Eucharist, I think that takes Chelsea to a whole new level. Right? A centre back, Chelsea can get a centre back that is experienced. You don't have to spend that much money, and I think the team is there to challenge. But let me do the super chats before we get out of here. Igal Cherki was a plan B, hence he, of course, would say no. Yeah, that's what Igal said. That's what K-Mac said, that he wouldn't have gone to not start at Liverpool, Omar. Igals, yes, Arsenal have spent 700 to 800 million over 6 years. City, Chelsea, Liverpool including this might spend more, but all the others have significant sales up to 400 to 500 million, which Arsenal don't have. But that is the problem. Arsenal don't sell a lot of players, and they can't sell a lot of players then. So that is a big problem. Net spend, Arsenal, 850 million. Chelsea, 1,100 million. But there is no, net spend is not a thing, to be honest. Net spend is not a thing. But listen, this was a great show. It wasn't expected to be that fiery, to be honest. Hit that like button before you go.
Didn't want it to be either, sorry.
K-Mac channel in the description. Igal channel in the description as well. Shaz's channel in the description as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I will see you guys
I've just opened membership on my channel as well, by the way. Got some brilliant exclusive behind-the-scenes Liverpool tour to post up.
Yeah.
Let you know.
I'm going live later on, guys. For all the guys.
What time? What time?
This is what happened.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. All right. Yep. 9 p.m. And Igal is having a video like that is being put out like now or something, or like in the next hour. I'll see you guys on the football terrace in about half an hour. We're out of here, please.